Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tiffany. Now, of course, the sun came out for us because it's International Women's Day. So it's a period of celebration, recognizing how far we have come in advancing women's rights, in working towards a better working world, but also recognizing that what we do today will impact a future generation. And in that theme, that spirit of celebration, I want to share 5 top tips for every young girl, for every woman who wants to make an impact, understanding that what we do now is going to shape the future. Number 1 is to learn to get out of your own way. Now, as women, I think there comes a moment of consciousness where you recognize that you have self-sabotaging behaviors and you are the one standing in the way of your own progress. Number 1 of that is that women are typically less likely to apply to jobs if they don't meet all the criteria. Number 2, women typically earn less than men simply because we don't know how to negotiate. We don't know how to ask for what we want. Number 3 is that women are less likely to start businesses, simply not because we don't have the skills or the abilities, but because we don't believe in ourselves enough. And another one also is that women typically hold themselves back, overall in terms of maybe talking themselves out of things. And I think these are all issues that we need to address in ourselves, because it's not as if the world isn't sometimes ready to give us what we want or deserve, but we just don't know how to ask for it. We don't know how to go after these things. And when you think about it, you playing small does not serve the world. So it's important for us to begin to work on solutions, to begin to think about how we can actually make progresses psychologically so that we can address the world in a better way and be much more effective. A very good book on this, I would definitely say, is Leaning by Sheryl Sandberg, in which she shares a lot of solutions around making advancements in your career and your personal life, but especially just from a unique women perspective. Number 2 is to learn to become your own friend. Now, as young girls, we're taught to be kind, to be gentle, to be good-natured to everyone. But why is it that we don't actually apply those values inwardly? Why treat yourself any worse than you would treat other people? So, sometimes as women we get to a stage where we have our shame, guilt, self-contempt, self-destruction, simply because we don't know how to be our own friend. And when you think about it, no amount of public approval, public acceptance will make up for the lack of self-love. So it's important to begin to like yourself, to begin to become your own friend, to have positive conversations with yourself. Because if you don't do this, it will affect you negatively further down the line. And when you think about it, our behavior is a mirror for other people. People look at you, they take hints from how you treat yourself, and that's exactly how they will treat you. So it's important in that way then to set boundaries, to protect yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, because when you do that, you become your own friend, and other people's relationship, it becomes a bonus, and it's not what you need to be a happy individual. Number 3 tip is to protect your values and your dignity. Now, I find that, sorry guys, a lot of noise in the background, but it should subside soon. Yes, perfect. Number 3 is to protect your values and your dignity. Now, especially in the dating and relationship space, I find that sometimes a lot of advice is targeted towards women in a negative way. How to get a man, how to get a man's attention, how to make a man fall in love with you. And whilst there are effective ways to behave to, in terms of maybe being in a relationship, I think sometimes this advice can be quite negative in terms of putting the burden on women to change themselves to get a man's attention. And I think as you do that, sometimes you will lose yourself. Why would you want to gain someone else but lose yourself? Why would you want to gain someone else and lose your values and lose your dignity? Chasing a man or trying to make a man love you. You can't make anyone love you. People will love you simply because they want to love you. So it's important as women sometimes to take a step back, to think about what is my own worth, what is my own value outside of any other person, because it's just a dangerous journey to go on, losing yourself, losing your self-worth, and not even knowing who you are just to gain love. So I think sometimes you have to really think about that and just be very selective in the advice that you're taking online, because love is not everything. Love will not solve your problems. Love will not help you to self-destruct any less. It's important that you like yourself, that you protect who you are first. And whoever will love you will embrace that. I get really passionate sometimes. Number 4 is to find your girl tribe. Now, I think for every ambitious woman, sometimes your natural circle of friends cannot accommodate your ambition, your drive, your excitement for more in life. So sometimes it's important for us to find a circle to explore that. And it can be, just with other women who also want more. And in that sort of space, I think it's actually quite a powerful space of strong, independent women who are progressing in life, who want more for each other, who are supportive. It's such a powerful space because women have unique challenges, towards success. I would say the world is slightly different. But when we can share together and grow together, we can advance greater. And this is not about just excluding men or becoming it's kind of negative type of feminist, but this is about understanding that, women are different in our perspective of the world. And when we're in that sort of safe space, we can advance greater. I have a group of women that I'm part of, and some of us are business owners and some of us are wanting to become a business owner, but in that space we're so open with each other, we're so authentic in ourselves. There's no sense of envy or jealousy, because when you think about it, if you're busy being jealous of other people's greatness, you're never going to discover your own gift. So this is about finding a safe space to thrive in together as women. And my 5th tip is don't try to lead like a man. Now, one of my previous companies I used to work in, I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to get sued. There was a woman there who was super successful. She was one of the top leaders in the business. But unfortunately, she just embodied all type of negative sort of qualities about leadership. And I think that's because of her own limited narrative, maybe that, to be successful, you have to be more like a man. So unfortunately, although she was in a position to inspire other young women like myself, she actually did the opposite. She was quite mean. She was quite negative in how she came across. And I think that's because that's what she knew about leadership. She thought to be successful as a woman in this male-dominated environment, I need to be more like a man and be aggressive and, be all these things. But luckily, I think we are now at an age where leadership, the face of leadership is changing. It's much more about embracing empathy, altruism, kindness, being supportive. Because although you can bully people into taking action, you can bully people into doing what you want. Once you leave that environment, they will be rebellious. So I think this is a time for us as women to lean into our natural sort of qualities of kindness, of being good to other people as leaders, because this is the best time for that. There's a very interesting talk that I will recommend by Michael Brady. It's a TED talk and it's called Great Leaders Do What Drug Addicts Do. And in that talk, he discusses how he went from being a drug addict to building a successful business based on these positive qualities, as I mentioned, like empathy and altruism. And I think this is what we need to embrace more as women, is to understand that this is a time to be ourselves, to be kind, to be gentle, and still be seen as strong in those qualities. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. I hope you guys have gained some values from that. And I think, just finally want to say that we should celebrate this time as women, and we should certainly look to the future with enthusiasm and with hope, because there is so much more to come. Thanks again for joining me, guys. And always remember that life rewards those who live intentionally. Bye.